I never expected that Lu Bu, the man said to be invincible under heaven, would fall to a group of mere mortals. His left leg began to shatter, followed by his right. Even with countless regrets buried in his heart, Lu Bu could only kneel to the ground now. The blood pooling beneath his feet made it clear he could fight no longer. As he looked at the small human standing before him, even he felt a strange sense of admiration. Thor's eyes, too, were filled with respect. But just as Thor was about to strike the final blow, the distant sound of a horse echoed through the battlefield. No one expected the red Hare, Lu Bu's loyal steed, to appear in the arena. It galloped to Lu Bu's side, lowered its head, and gently licked his wounds, as if telling him, "Stand, my master." As Lu Bu turned and mounted the horse, the fire of battle reignited in his chest. The soldiers who witnessed this were filled with renewed spirit. They formed a tall human wall to block Darohan's path and began cheering Lu Bu's name. Even the red Hare seemed uncertain. Could Lu Bu still fight? And then with a thunderous roar, Lu Bu stood up once more. The entire arena trembled at that sound. Thor's expression lit up with excitement. Mounting his horse again, Lu Bu prepared to unleash his ultimate technique, the one he had never dared use before. He was the mightiest warrior of the three kingdoms, unmatched, unstoppable. To reach the ultimate peak of martial arts, he had climbed the mountains countless times, training relentlessly day and night. He had wielded innumerable weapons, destroyed and reforged them through pure strength. After 2.5 years of brutal discipline, he finally mastered a divine skill. He gripped the end of his Fangtian Huaji, his great halberd, and hurled it toward the heavens. The clouds parted, the air froze, and even the weapon itself crumbled to dust under its own power. The force was so overwhelming that it could never be used against another person. Until now, for the first time in the realm of gods, Lu Bu had found a worthy opponent, and he could finally unleash Tiancan, his forbidden move. He charged forward like a raging storm, while Thor's hammer of thunder shone with divine fury. The mightiest weapon in history met the strongest technique ever created. Their collision tore through the arena. A violent shockwave rose to the clouds, and blinding white light consumed everything. When the light finally faded, Lu Bu's body was shattered beyond recognition. Even his sacred Fangtian Huaji had turned to dust. In the end, Lu Bu had lost to Fanru. He bit down on his broken arm, smiling faintly. Though unsatisfied, there was no regret left in his heart. He turned back toward his horse, one man, one steed, and charged toward Thor. Thor understood his intent. He raised the hammer of thunder and struck Lu Bu one final time. Thor had won the battle, but there was no joy in his victory. Just as he was about to leave the arena, he heard that familiar sound again, the cry of a horse, and the rallying voices of Lu Bu's brave soldiers, the Lu army, who came to die beside their master. Looking at those fearless warriors, Thor smiled. To let Lu Bu rest in peace, he raised his sword once more and whispered softly, "Come, my friend, let me give you the honor of your final farewell."